You don't have a great movie without at least one, preferably more, iconic characters. And as I saw several tribute posts of Val Kilmer after his passing, many included images of his iconic roles. Everything from a thief in Heat to an ace pilot in Top Gun, from Batman to his portrayal of Doc Holliday.
Why, Johnny Ringo. You look like somebody just walked over your grave.
And the one thing you have to remember is that great actors can take great characters and make them iconic, like Val did. But if you're making pivotal mistakes when it comes to building your characters, your screenplay will never attract A-list talent. And this is one of the things I talk about regularly with my students. If you want to work with me, there are links below. But in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 character building mistakes you might be making that actors hate, and what you should be doing instead if you want to attract an A-list actor. But why do you even need to think about writing characters that would attract an A-list actor at this point? Well, besides the fact that many actors have their own production companies and development deals with studios, so if they like your script, they might champion it. I actually had this happen with a TV pilot of mine several years ago. If you watch nearly any interview with an actor and they are asked, "What drew you to this role?" the response is almost always one of 2 things. One, they say something like, "I've never played a character like that before." Or 2, they say, "You know, that character was so interesting, I just thought it would be fun to do." But as writers, we tend to focus on the themes or the reasons behind the story and let the characters grow out of those in some ethereal nirvana where every character is barefoot and riding unicorns. Every actor I've ever interacted with is awesome, but they also have to have a healthy dose of ego to be successful at their craft. They have to carry themselves in certain ways, and once they get to a top-tier status as an actor, they can become a little picky with their roles, and they want them to be good and memorable. And what producers and reps are looking for in your screenplay is that you understand this, that you can write a script that has some great, iconic, memorable characters that any actor would want to play. And so you have to begin thinking about what I call actor bait as you build your characters, putting things in your script that attract those actors to it, as opposed to pushing them away. And you may think you're including what you need to include, but you might also be missing it way more than you think. So 3 mistakes that you're making with building characters, and the first one is epitomized by Kilmer's role in The Saint as Simon Templar. In The Saint, Simon Templar is a master of disguise, able to slip in and out of identities like changing outfits.
My name is Bruno Houghton-Faust.
I am Ivan Ivanovich.
I'm Tony Stubbins.
Or take Sherlock Holmes. His genius-level deduction skills make him fascinating to watch. Even Ferris Bueller. His pure charisma and the ability to manipulate every situation to his advantage makes him stand out. And any iconic character like these has this one thing in common. They have a superpower. Now, I don't mean they need to have actual superpowers, okay? This is not about capes and laser vision. But every character has something that sets them apart, something that makes them stand out in their world, something that only they can do. And you can think of example after example of this. So if your character is just another regular person in the story, just reacting to things like anyone else would, well, what's the fun in that? Great actors want to play great characters, ones who are extraordinary in some way, whether that's through skills or charm, intelligence, or even sheer audacity. So look at the key characters in your current script and ask yourself, what is their superpower? If they don't have one, you need to build one in for them, because without it, there is no actor bait in that character. For mistake number 2, it starts with realizing your characters don't exist in a vacuum. I mean, if everyone in your script is cut from the same cloth, with the same worldview, the same personality, same perspective, same way of doing things, you're missing out on one of the most powerful tools in storytelling: contrast. And all iconic characters are a foil to the world or to other characters in it. Just look at Top Gun. Iceman and Maverick are perfect foils. Iceman plays by the book. He's disciplined, controlled, precise. Maverick, total opposite. Reckless, instinct-driven, and emotional.
You're everyone's problem. That's because every time you go up in the air, you're unsafe. I don't like you because you're dangerous.
That's right. Nice, man. I am dangerous.
And that difference creates tension and conflict and ultimately growth. So consider in your current script, how are your characters foils of each other or of the world in which they inhabit? Because if your characters just blend into the world without rubbing against it in some way, without clashing with others or shaking up the status quo, you're robbing yourself and the actor of some of the best dramatic moments. This means when you're building your characters, and you should be building them and not just letting them run wild and barefoot, you are intentionally thinking about things like their worldview, their perspective, and what's important to them. But to get at the third mistake you might be making with building your characters, think about Doc Holliday in Tombstone. I mean, he's got it all.
I'm your huckleberry.
He's charming, he's funny, he's tragic, fiercely loyal. He gets to be quick-witted and impulsive. He gets to be fierce in a gunfight, and he gets to break our hearts when he's lying on his deathbed. That's an actor's dream. So if you want to attract top-tier talent, you need to give them moments. Moments where they can showcase what they do best. Actors live for these. The quiet vulnerability, the explosive outburst, the deep sorrow, the triumphant victory. And if your character only operates on one emotional frequency, just brooding, or just tough, or just funny, you're not giving an actor enough to sink their teeth into. And every A-list actor would pass on playing that role, and every producer or Hollywood rep knows that you don't know how to write characters that attract A-list talent, so they're not even going to hire you for a rewrite. You need to build in those moments where the actors can flex every acting muscle they have. So when considering your current work, do the key characters have big emotional moments that allow the actor to really perform? If not, it's a pass. So you have to build those moments in. And one bonus tip for you how you can do that is to give your main character or key supporting character a brief monologue. Now, to be clear, this has to be banging or off the hook or fire or whatever the N word is nowadays. It doesn't have to be long, but in that monologue, let them express emotion they haven't yet expressed up to that point in the film. Give them a moment.
Why, if you ever, my friend, if you ever had even the slightest feeling for me, leave now. Leave now.
You can even think of the monologue as the clip that would play at the Oscars when they get nominated for their awesome performance based on the character you wrote. And if you can pull off those three things, give them a superpower, make them a foil, give them a moment, you will have successfully included a lot of good actor bait, and any Hollywood reader is going to recognize that you have that insight and foresight to include those moments in your scripts. It lets them know that you understand what makes actors spark to roles, and it lets them know that you're ready to play in the big leagues. Most importantly, you won't just be creating a character. You'll be making an iconic character that any A-list actor wants to play. But there's another critical thing you have to understand when it comes to building characters, and that has to do with what types of characters you actually have in your script. And in this video, I walk through the 4 types of characters, how you differentiate between them, and what roles they play in your script. And there are only 4. Watch this. I'll show you.